Outdoors Delmarva covers everything outdoors,
including real hunting and fishing situations involving wildlife.
We do our best each and every week to keep it tasteful, but discretion is advised.
Now, enjoy the show.
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
This week on the show, we're checking in to see what's being reeled in on both sides of Delmarva. We'll head to weigh-ins in Chesapeake country, where a tournament goes down to the wire. And we'll see why offshore anglers are so excited about the tuna catch. Then, we're headed out into the fields, where it's blueberry picking time. Captain Willie finds the juicy ones, then learn a long-time family recipe as these sweet morsels make an even sweeter homemade pie. Plus, we've got the need for speed, and we found it out on Indian River Bay. We'll test drive some brand new Sea-Doos, and so can you.
Right now on Outdoors Delmarva.
Whoa! Go home to your family, okay?
This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. And now, here's Mike Parker.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker. We'll be checking in with my partner, Captain Willie Dykes, in just a few minutes. Well, as we start the show off this week, folks, we're talking about fishing, and there's been plenty of it. Now, the heat of summer is bearing down in places like Ocean City, Maryland, also over on the Chesapeake Bay side, so it's definitely tournament season. While we can't make it to every event, we do like to keep you up to date as to what's being reeled in out there. So this week, from rockfish to billfish to those tasty tuna in between, here's a look at what's being brought in to the weigh scales. With the 4th of July holiday falling on a Wednesday, there would be fireworks in the sky all week. And hopefully an explosion of action out on the water. So with record highs on land, the place to be was out on a boat with a breeze. And when it came to tournament fishing, our first stop was the Ocean City Marlin Club's Canyon Kickoff.
Fishing's great. Fishing is great. When you come in and you have 1,000 pounds of tuna laying on the dock in front of you, somebody found good fish.
The biggest excitement surrounding this event was the arrival of several big eye tuna, including this whopper, which arrived to the scales on Sunday afternoon.
210.8.
Now for this big eye not to even make the leaderboard's top 3 was a good sign for the quality of overall fishing. And for the crew of the White Lightning, no big deal, considering their 224-pounder caught the day before was still sitting pretty in first place, and 5 pounds heavier than the second place fish hauled in aboard the Lucky Duck 2.
We were down in the Washington Canyon today. That's a smaller fish at my feet there. He actually he ate a spreader bar, and that's a yellowfin tuna there. Yellowfin fishing's been great. If you guys want to charter, check us out on the White Lightning. It's been good fishing. Lots of yellowfin tunas, 50, 60 pound class range. Lots of them out there.
This fish literally kicked my butt. I don't know what else to say. After about the first hour and a half, 15 minutes, I was ready to give up, but the guys gave me a lot of encouragement, and it was like bringing up a cement mixer, I think.
16.8.
Yesterday was a little slow, but today we ended up doing all right. Didn't place, but we gave it a good shot.
In the category for dolphin or mahi, anglers were at least going home with some good eating, if nothing else, and the leaderboard was clearly in favor of the first place shadow fox. Still, even late on Sunday afternoon, things were about to experience a shakeup when the crew of the Salty Suns arrived with a catch from angler Shane McGinnis.
19.6.
Yes.
A catch that would redefine third place.
This guy, we found a balloon and we went around it and he seemed to appear. He jumped over every line, but he got mine.
And while the weekend's busy weigh-ins delighted the crowds at Sunset Marina, this tournament also had a billfish release division. And the crew of the Drillin' and Billin' were happy to share their story about a nice blue marlin.
Pretty much when it broke the water, we saw the size of the fish, and we pretty much knew that it was a blue marlin at that point.
Estimate?
250 pounds.
When it comes to summer fishing, we don't just stick to the ocean. This is Chesapeake country after all. And at Nanticoke Harbor in Wicomico County, we stopped by to see our friends at the 3rd annual Castaway Cancer Fishing Tournament.
Basically, our goal is to raise money for cancer patients, but all the money that we raise here today and in future tournaments is kept right here on Delmarva.
And the real drama was in the rockfish division, where the 4-pound current first-place rock caught by the team of Kim and Vic Arnold was about to go down.
Rockfish 5.60.
At the hands of angler Brian Wolf.
Tell me about that shirt right there. What's it say?
It says, fish with an attitude.
So you guys think you got this thing or what?
No.
Okay, you're not that confident yet.
No. Too many people to come in.
1.80.
And there was no mistaking David Jones' now first place hardhead, which he says felt like a big fish from the very start.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a nice fish. But I didn't know it was a hardhead until it came up on the board.
With just minutes left in the weigh-in, the drama again focused on the rock, with another change in the lead. And Paul Elias hoping to be on the receiving end of at least a few $100 in prize money.
Well, we hope.
It could be close.
And with all eyes watching closely, the fellas aboard the Aquaholic out of Delmar, Delaware, would seal the deal with the day's biggest rock.
6.55.
We didn't know right away, and they got close to the boat, and we got close to losing it. Ran under the boat and pulled some drag, and we knew it was a good one then. And it got in the net, and we were happy. We started hooting.
Happy him had jumped off the boat. He was like a monkey climbing around the T-top.
So with the scales closed, the results were in. And the summer fishing forecast, a good one. From the Atlantic Big Eyes to the big Chesapeake rockfish, there's only one way to find out what you could catch next.
Get outdoors, Delmarva!
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, it's pickin' time. Captain Willie shows us how to fill the blueberry bucket. But first, did you know? What is the record weight and length for an Atlantic croaker or hardhead caught in the Chesapeake Bay? The answer when we come back.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism. Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice. Outdoors Delmarva will be right back.
Yeah, so tell me, what boat are you guys on?
Alcoholic.
Where are you at?
Did you know? The record Atlantic croaker, or hardhead, caught in the Chesapeake Bay was caught in 2007. It weighed 8 pounds, 11 ounces, and was hooked near the New Point Comfort Lighthouse in Virginia.
Did You Know is sponsored by North Bay Marina.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. You know, what I'm doing here to a hardcore wild berry hunter might seem like ground sluicing a covey of quail or shooting fish in a barrel, but for me, it's all about the pie. A sure sign of summer on Delmarva is a field full of Queen Anne's lace. The best sign of summer is this one, signaling the start of blueberry picking season. The Garden of Eden south of Salisbury is the closest for me of about a half a dozen berry patches on the peninsula and is fairly typical of most U-pick operations. One of the best parts of berry picking is that when you leave, they don't weigh you, they just weigh the bucket. The first berries ripen sometime in the middle to late June, with different varieties continuing through the summer. If they have to be really pulled off the vine, they're not ready. I just reach in and just caress them with my thumb. You just caress them. Oop, lost one. Picking blueberries is a lot like falling in love. There are a few tips that might be useful, but you really don't have to know anything to get started.
When they're all right, come up and tickle them. Just like your fish, you tickle them.
Okay. And the ripe ones fall and the green ones stay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm a big fan of outdoor fun that doesn't call for a lot of expensive gear. The grower usually has buckets on hand, and other than that, maybe a hat and you're good to go.
I got three grandchildren, and all three of them, they'll eat them just like candy.
They don't. Jim Zimmer from Salisbury shared a handy technique that was paying off big time. What's the trick, the secret to picking berries?
For me, is I go out and I lift the berries, lift the limbs up. There's more berries underneath, and it seems like people pick more what they see.
Yes.
And I'll just pick them up, and there's more, and actually they're bigger and riper underneath.
Aha. Turns out it was a great tip, but best of all, we both discovered we had no idea what time it was.
12:40. God, I've probably been here 2 hours.
I don't know what kind of creatures visit this place at night, but I think probably the local raccoons and whatnot find an absolute bonanza here on the ground when they've, after a bunch of pickers have been through and left the ground covered with them. Gathering in blueberries is something whole families can do, and often it becomes a tradition that's passed from generation to generation. Now, have you been here before?
I've been here before. I come with my mom.
Okay.
She brings me out here. And I brought my boys and my daughter, and we're picking berries today.
Okay. Now, are the kids hard at the picking, or are they sampling?
It's sampling and picking, probably.
There were a lot of kids here on this perfect summer day, but none that I saw were paying any attention to electronic games.
Can you taste one and tell them if it tastes good?
It said,
Another unsolicited testimonial.
Yes.
Fresh blueberries are nutritional superstars with antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and more. But with a taste like that, I think I'd eat a couple of handfuls even if I thought they were deadly poison. We have enough to make one good pie, so let's head back and weigh them in and get to that kitchen. Because making the pie is just part of it. We are going to have to hang around for about 2 hours for the thing to cool, so it's going to be an agony after we get it made.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we're not done with those blueberries just yet. Captain Willie is back in the kitchen to share a long-time family recipe.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Captain Willie Dykes. Oh, we've captured some blueberries and dragged them home, and now we're going to make up one of the easiest pies you'll ever see. We'll start out with our blueberries, and for a 9-inch pie, we're going to need about 4 cups. All you have to do to the berries to prepare them is just rinse them a little bit. Now for a crust, I plan to use a pre-made crust from the grocery store. Now I have made my own crust from scratch, and I found that the best that I can do is just about the same as one of these that you get from the store. So that's what we're going to use. Some of the recipes call for mixing the berries and the other dry ingredients together first. But the berries are kind of dry and the skin is smooth on the outside, so the ingredients don't mix with them at all. So I just pour the berries into the shell. Then I'm going to mix up the rest of the ingredients and just add them to the top evenly. So we'll start off with about a half a cup of sugar. Now, some of the recipes call for either a half or 3/4 cup, and it depends on how sweet the berries are. If the berries are kind of tart, 3/4 cup is just about right. These are really good sweet berries, so I have a half a cup and just another smidge. Okay, to the sugar, I am going to add a half teaspoon of cinnamon. For thickening, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. Now you can also use tapioca or cornstarch. I'm just going to take a fork and just mix them together a little bit. A teaspoon of lemon juice. The very last step is to put 4 little pats of butter. Okay, and now we'll close it up with the top crust. I want to fold it over so we keep the juices in. Need to make 4 little slits in the crust that allows some of the steam to escape, and it also allows you to, if you're compulsively checking the pie every 5 minutes like I do, if you want it, you can see when the pie starts to bubble. We're going to start out at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it down to 350 degrees for about another 30 minutes maybe. But for the last 10 minutes or so, I'm going to be checking every whip stitch to see if the filling is bubbling and to see that the crust is turning the perfect color of brown. Oh yes, that is perfect. Look at that golden brown crust. And look at that blueberry filling in there bubbling. Now here comes the hard part. We're going to have to let it cool for almost 2 hours, at least 2 hours, especially in this weather. Okay, here we go. It's been cooling for about 3 hours, which is a world record for me. And now nothing left but the tasting. So there you have it. Fresh blueberry pie, quick and easy, and ambrosia on the palate. But don't forget, the first step was to get outdoors, Delmarva.
Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, we're here with our friends from Shorts Marine trying out some personal watercraft. We'll show you around the Sea-Doos.
You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Coming up on the next episode of Outdoors Delmarva.
We've got the final chapter in the story of Ocean City, Maryland's rare blue lobster. We'll visit Washington, D.C. as Toby enters his new home, the National Aquarium. Thanks for watching Outdoors Delmarva. I'm Mike Parker, and we're back here with our friends at Shorts Marine in the beautiful Millsboro and Long Neck, Delaware area. From boats and personal watercraft to accessories, well, they can hook you up with everything but the water. And this week, we're talking about Sea-Doos. And to talk to us about the Sea-Doo is Kelly Ross with Shorts Marine.
Welcome back, Mike.
Thanks. Always good to see you guys. And boy, this is great. I've been excited to talk about these because, well, these are just some mean machines.
Yes, they are. From fun to thrill-seeking, we've got family units that are conservative to just rip-roaring fast.
All right, Kelly, taking a look at the controls here. 2 levers, one on this side, one on this side.
On this side over here, we have your throttle. That is fly-by-wire. It's no longer a cabled linkage. And on this side, we have your reversing lever and brake, all built into one.
All right, we can talk about it all we want, but I'm hardly dressed for it. We're not going anywhere on this trailer. What do you say we head over to the docks and put them out on the water?
Let's go do it.
All right, Kelly, here we are out on the water, Indian River Bay, sitting comfortably aboard these Sea-Doos. Plenty of first-timers, though, as they take a look at us tearing up the water. What are they going to experience?
Well, like what you're on right now, it's a little more conservative, 155 horsepower. The one I'm on, 260. It's ready to roll.
All right, Kelly, I'll tell you what, this GTI SE is pretty quick, but you did tell me this is the conservative model, right? I think I might want to try out that GTX.
It's time for you to feel some real horsepower. You're going to go from 155 horse to 260 horse with a floating suspension.
Well, like Kelly said, Sea-Doo is the only model that's got this intelligent brake in reverse. I'm going to try to speed this baby up and put her down, see if she really stops on a dime. All right, here we go! Yeah, I'd say that was a dime. All right, Kelly, man, that was a blast. I can see how people would just want to spend all weekend aboard one of these Sea-Doos. In fact, for people watching the show right now, you'll have a chance to try them out for free this coming weekend, right?
That's right. July 13th and 15th down in Dewey Beach, Sea-Doo Demo Days. Go online and register at www.seadoodemo.com.
Thanks again for joining us this
Thanks
week.
for coming out.
All right, from personal watercraft to boats to all the accessories you need to have fun this summer, Shorts Marine. Everything but the water. And we'll be right back. Coming up next on Outdoors Delmarva, your latest viewer videos and pictures.
Outdoors Delmarva viewer pictures are sponsored by Shorts Marine. This is Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards. Sponsored by Ocean City Tourism, Shorts Marine, and Shooter's Choice.
It's time now to take a look at some of those videos and pictures sent in by our own Outdoors Delmarva viewers. And we begin with some viewer Venture Cam video courtesy of Captain Brian Wozlevek aboard the Lil Angler 2 out of Lewis. I actually joined Brian recently for this short fun trip to introduce my son Stone to the sport of fishing on Delaware Bay, and of course do some sightseeing too. Captain Brian's grandson, Jeremy, is a heck of a fisherman, hauling in this nice skate. And not to mention, Jeremy was a big help to the other kids on board, even showing my daughter Autumn how to handle her catch of the day, a nice weak fish. We'll be seeing more from Captain Brian and the crew from Delaware Family Fishing for a flounder trip next week. On to the pictures now. Danny Wynn from Salisbury's been doing some crabbing and tells us the blue crabs were big out on the Choptank this past Independence Day. Ann Wines from Lincoln tells us this gaggle of geese stopped traffic for almost 15 minutes near Cedar Creek Pond recently. Thanks for thinking of us. Well, they crossed the road. Louis Alberigo of Salisbury was hanging around Parker Pond recently when he came across this snake ball. Wow. Hey, better you than me, Louis. Samson Matthews from Cambridge was fishing the inlet in Ocean City recently when he caught this nice flounder. Mike Snedeker from Laurel did a number on the flatfish too while spearfishing near Ocean City and also came across a nice sheep's head. And Riley Zeppelin was visiting her grandparents in Ocean Pines recently when she went fishing off the bulkhead at 2nd Street in downtown Ocean City. Check out this nice tautog. Well, we love sharing your outdoors videos and pictures here on the show, so please keep them coming. Just email me at mparker@wboc.com. And make sure to like us on Facebook too. And you can post your videos and pictures right to the Outdoors Delmarva Facebook page. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this week's tournament fishing coverage as well as Willie's blueberry pie recipe. That's definitely what I call an Eastern Shore dinner and dessert. So until next time, for my partner, Captain Willie Dykes, I'm Mike Parker, reminding you to get outdoors, Delmarva. Well, Toby, the rare blue American lobster, may be a 1 in 2 million catch out in the wild, but here at the National Aquarium in Washington, D.C., well, he's definitely one of a kind. There are plenty of featured creatures at the National Aquarium in Washington, D.C., and every fish has a tale to tell. But on Tuesday morning, all eyes were on one tank, awaiting the arrival of a rock star. Toby the Blue Lobster was warming up backstage.
We're really interested to see how he does on exhibit, how he interacts with the other animals, and just anxious for folks to come down and be able to see him.
Here we go.
After about 2 weeks of observation behind closed doors and a bill of good health, the moment of truth arrived when a hand holding Toby entered the tank and in he went, settling in quickly to a cozy spot right in the back of this artificial reef.
I would imagine that he'll probably, after a little while, he'll start moving around, start checking things out. There he is!
Toby, whose blue pigment is the result of a genetic mutation, arrived on the scene last month when a group of lobstermen hauled him up in a pot off the coast of Ocean City, Maryland. Their donation is recognized with a note on Toby's new tank, which he shares with several black sea bass and a tautog, all species found up and down the Atlantic coast. And while it might take Toby a while to grow comfortable with his new surroundings, his admirers are growing by the minute.
We're hoping, of course, that he'll be an attraction for a long time.
And for now, he's pretty content just to stay there. But aquarium officials are confident that eventually, for lack of a better term, he'll come out of his shell a bit. At the National Aquarium in Washington, D.C., Mike Parker, WBOC News.